And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to B&T Sports Talk Radio. Thank y'all for joining us on this wonderful Sunday evening. Evening with very little sports happening. You know, we're kind of in the dead of summer, so we got some interesting conversation coming up for y'all. If you've listened to us before, welcome back. And please, if you haven't heard us before, it's your first time visiting, please hit the like and subscribe button. We would very much appreciate it. So we're going to bring in a touchy subject. Usually we kind of, keep it real light, and we're still going to attempt to do that. But we're going to touch on a more controversial subject and the most notably the Brittney Griner Saga. So for those who don't know, Brittney Griner was going to Russia to play for a Russian professional team and was stopped at the airport or detained for having basically what we'll call hash or weed oil, more or less. And obviously that's just not how the Russians roll. You know what I'm saying? It's not legal over there. So that obviously created a problem. So Brittney Griner's been detained by Russia for how long has it been? A little over 100 days now. She sent out a plea, I'm saying plea, but she sent a letter to the president asking for action to help her get out of the circumstance that she's currently in. And she also testified, on her own behalf, saying that she did not intend to bring it, and it was an incident, and pled guilty. So, all that information in mind, there's been some controversy around this topic. Some of it having to do with the actions by the United States or non-action by the United States. There's been some things said by other athletes about things, what more should be done, and how I think Braun spoke up and said some things about, she if I were her, I'd feel like my country didn't care about me. So this thing is kind of blowing up. So before I open up the conversation, we're just going to have open convo about it. I got to bring a new man into the room. I know you're wondering, who is this dude above me? It's a BNT. Well, we going to drop in Jay. What's up, Jameson? How you doing?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
And Jameson, before we get into the conversation, I want you to tell us about what you do, because I know you do a little bit of streaming yourself.
Yeah, so we all have day jobs, but I like to partake in a little streaming on Twitch, video games with Brian from the other half of your show. Not necessarily the better half, the other half.
Damn.
That's still who's the better half yet. And always had fun. We got some people in the chat. I see Timmy in the chat, some other people, and I stream on Twitch playing a variety of different shooters, and I may not be the best at it, but I tell you what, entertaining as hell, yelling and screaming and raging.
Oh, raging is 100% accurate on that. You fucking rage monster when it comes to these games. But thanks for joining us here, Jameson, or Jay, I should say. But let's get it going here. We've had some discussions in regards to Griner's situation. So we'll let you kick it off here on your thoughts as far as just how everything played out for her.
Well, I mean, there's two sides to this discussion, right? And everyone, there's not necessarily a right or wrong one, but we all know when she went over there, she got caught at the airport coming into there. She was actually detained prior to the Ukraine Russia war outbreak. Think about a week or two prior. Has been there since. Recently, she has reached out, and now the government is talking about looking at what to do to help her out. And there's a lot that going on, and talked about this because there's so many different perspectives that we can touch on. We could talk about the female aspect of sports, the aspect of WNBA versus the NBA. Talk about all the different things said. Kind of go from there. So I like stirring the pot. I like being the point of drama, troll under the bridge. So let's get it going.
Well, it brings up this is a pretty big topic to talk about as well, because there's been a lot of comparisons to how this is being handled with other athletes as well. And for me, this isn't all about what athlete it is and who it is. It's all simply the fact that the WNBA doesn't do well for the market. Brittney Griner is going to Russia because she needs more money. She's the highest paid athlete in the WNBA at over $200,000. She's going to Russia to compensate or to fix that. And it's $2 billion she makes a year playing for Russia. So her having to go there to kind of get or just to make money just shows how the WNBA isn't promoting their as well. There's a few NBA players who go out there and they're either at the games or speaking on behalf of it. But let's be realistic. When you look at an attendance in WNBA, it's not all significant here. So for me, in this subject, it's not so much the comparison. It's look at your product and look at your athletes. Money in this year. They've got play overseas. Now there are NBA players play overseas, but those are guys who play internationally for their country. Currently Doncic is playing overseas, but that's for his country. He doesn't have to worry about making money. Brittney Griner's Russia. And so for her to have to make $1 million, the NBA needs to get that figured out. They need to fix that problem first and foremost. Outside of what's happening with Brittney, I think she does need to come home. But why are your athletes having to go do other things to make more money?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it.
Well, I mean, okay. So let's take a look as to why Brittney Griner and the rest of the WNBA don't make as much as the men in the NBA. Let's look at it. What's the attendance numbers? What's the wow factor? What's the entertainment value? Brittney Griner once said she wanted to challenge Marcus Cousins to a one-on-one challenge. You can't tell me that was fathomable that would even happen or even be fair. In fact, you know what? About this earlier, and I'll say it right now. I would like to see her challenge Jeremy Lin, and I'll put money on Jeremy Lin.
Hey, I don't even know Jeremy Lin's.
Bring him out of retirement.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but that's a lot to be said, right? No, you're absolutely right. But she's one of the highest paid, right? The WNBA. She makes about $240,000 $240,000 with incentives for playoffs and championships and whatnot. She's choosing to go to Russia and play for I forget what it's called, the Russian name, some kind of big mogul over there that owns a team over there and pays them $1 million. Choosing to go there since 2014. She knows, despite all the talk of political figures and the WNBA or whoever is guiding her not to go to Russia, she still chose to go to Russia for that $1 million. So now the next question would be: are we saving someone for their own personal greed? Or are we saving someone because they're a person worth saving?
Yeah, well, I guess one thing to point out just before we even get into that is one big issue is the fact that you kind of have to be selective about some of the situations you put yourself in as a professional athlete. I mean, we're talking about Brittney Griner, and of course she's had to venture into Russia in order to make some additional cash to subsidize for the money that she's not making through the WNBA. But as we all know, Russia at this particular time is in a situation with Ukraine, and there's a lot of things that are happening at this particular time that could cause you to take some pause. And as we all know, when going into another country, you have to abide by whatever that country's rules are. So I'll start with kind of the personal accountability factor of it, which is, you're going over there. You have to understand what the rules are there. If they discover that stuff is on you, then in all likelihood, you're going to face whatever penalty they have. And so Brittney Griner, and she says it wasn't intentional, But these are the type of things that you can't make mistakes with, given the circumstances. And so she put herself in a position to be detained. And so apart from even the whole WNBA and NBA and all that stuff and LeBron and this and that and this and that, you have to take some type of, you got to make better choices. I'm sorry, as a professional athlete and as a person, because I'm sorry, it's you're not going to get caught with weed, in another country without knowing what the laws are. You have to be very careful about those things. We have to understand, just because we're America, we're big and we're great, but the moment you step across those borders, you're in a different country entirely, and that's what she's dealing with right now. You guys brought up the point about the whole comparison with LeBron and all that kind of stuff. Look, let's be real. If Russia got LeBron, hey man, that's a bigger bargaining chip. You think they would have? I'm just saying. Like, you think they would have been like, oh, y'all can have Bron back, because they would have straight Space Jammed him. You seen Space Jam? Yeah, they did the same thing. So like, yep, you gonna play a game in Russia, for our entire country, and everybody's gonna watch it. We're gonna make $1 billion off of it. So I don't think that argument holds any water, because the idea is that Russia's doing this to sort of get at the United States and to hold something over their head. So the bigger the star, at least in my opinion, the longer you keep them. What will be the point? They just gonna be like, oh no, it's just LeBron, it's cool. And I think the argument is that from America's side, that America's just gonna run and we're gonna send a special ops group to come and get LeBron out of jail. No, that's not gonna happen. That's not going to happen, because the person wasn't detained because they're not a part of the military. They're not somebody who was there on some special ops mission. They're not a prisoner of war. They're a person who had weed in their backpack and got accused or detained for a law that the country has already had in place. It doesn't work like that. So I just think all of that doesn't really hold any water in my opinion.
Yeah, and unless she is their number one player, their number one asset, like LeBron in the NBA here, maybe a different story in that aspect. They're not looking at her like that. They're literally looking at her as just a normal human being came in with some weed oil, and now is busted for it. Bigger question is what are you doing going overseas? Has she been going there consistently? We don't know. Is this her first time being caught? All unanswered questions that have to be remained. And so, they're looking at it as you're just a regular person who just visited, got your stuff. And you got caught. Yeah, Banter says let her serve her time. I mean, at this point, she's already serving time. It's been 105 days, and there's been no.
Yeah, but she faces up to 10 years. Is that right, Jameson?
10 to 14 years. I hear different things, but kind of touching about this whole thing. How many people do we have in the United States?
Oh,
celebrity or not, serving time for the same exact infraction that she's done, and they're still in jail. Round we busting.
Yeah.
Oh wait, they can't shoot a basketball as good as she can. What makes her so special that she gets be above the law? And on top of that, this is 2014. When she came on the news, she spoke her piece and said, "It was an accident. I did not mean to get the frick out of here." All right, sorry.
It's all good.
We all know. She did that. Because the people that she played for are above the law there in Russia. They're above the law. They bring these people in overpaid because they got tons of oil money in general laying around. They're bringing them in for exhibition and for entertainment. To be honest, when was the last time Russia was good at basketball? Don't answer that. Probably never going to think of it. So they bring those people in. They're bringing them in because they can't bring in NBA stars for $1 million. They can bring in WNBA, but they can't bring in NBA stars. There's no way they could offer enough money. Bring LeBron or Kobe, when he was around, or Jordan or anybody else. The reality is this: she did a crime. She committed a crime. Why is she better than anybody else to go ahead and try to get her out?
Yeah, and
hey, before you answer that, Jay, you may want to put in your other AirPod here. I think we're still having an echo with. Maybe there, sir. Check. Keep it going. Let us know that echo. But You're 100% right, Jameson. She walked into foreign territory and got caught with it here. For her to come out and say, "Oh, I didn't know it was in there." What's the question they asked you at the airport? Did you pack your own bags? Yeah, you did. You packed your own bags. So, now I'm like, Jesus, let's get this together. But that's just, I want to touch on something here, and we're going to touch on what Brittney Griner's coach had said. If this was LeBron, he'd be gone by now. And she brought sex. She brought in sexuality. She brought in color. This has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I think one thing to keep in mind is like this is a kind of a different circumstance. I cannot recall too many situations where there were, these athletes that were caught in the country of Russia and now all of a sudden we need to sort of get them out of it. Like this, I guess what I'm trying to say, there's no precedent for this. There's no precedent for this. So this is all new. And we can sort of point fingers at, oh, well, it's because she's a lesbian or because she's black or because she's an athlete. I really couldn't tell you. But I really feel like, again, I think people have to understand that America, being the great country that it is, we can't just waltz over into other people's countries and make demands. It just doesn't work like that. And I don't think people grasp that.
Especially got problems too.
What's that?
Especially got problems with that.
We've been avoiding a war with Russia for 100 and something years. So obviously that's not something we want to do. I mean, if that were the case, the Cold War and all that stuff, like there's plenty of history to support it. We don't want to have a war with Russia. Okay, so we're not going to go to war because of Brittney Griner. Brittney Griner. Excuse me. Brittney Griner.
No, you said it right.
So I think people have to get a clear understanding of mine how this works, and like I said, it just doesn't work that way. That Russia's not a small little middling country that you can just go over and toss around and say this or say that to or to make demands. It don't work. They are an open. They literally flattened Ukraine, or at least the capital of Ukraine. I mean, you're talking about a different breed of animal. So you can't. It isn't gonna work like that, folks. And I'm sorry to say, it's just that it's just the wrong. In my opinion, this is a wrong place, wrong time situation. It's not the race, not her sex, not the fact that she's lesbian. Wrong place, wrong time. Yeah, and the U.S. doesn't have something in place to save your ass from someone else's laws in someone else's country. That ain't how it works. So
I agree with you 100%, except for the part where it's wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
She chose that place. She chose
that
time.
Yeah.
So that's not a matter of wrong place, right? This is bad judgment.
Yeah.
Bad judgment. Kind of going into what we're talking about, the coach, Vanessa Nygaard. Right? She talked about how it's a statement for the value of a gay person and a woman in the NBA and blah, blah, blah. Where the hell is she going to the gay community and going, hey, why aren't you guys watching our games? Why aren't you buying our tickets? Woman, I'm telling you, it's not racism, it's not sexism, it's not misogyny. It's called just poor old lack of ticket sales and support from the people that vocally went out and said, "Hey, we want our own league."
We talked about this earlier. Taj, you mentioned they have a commissioner's cup that's halfway through the season.
I watched like 2 minutes of it. I was like, wait, what is this? Is the championship already?
Participation trophy.
And that's what they handed out to them was a participation trophy with a T-shirt that just said Commissioner's Cup champion without a Nike logo on it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean,
really.
You could go on eBay and find that trophy. Did you see that meme? The trophy was on eBay, and you could buy it in bulk or something like that from Alibaba or whatever for like $25. How messed up it is, I mean, come on, NBA. come on, NBA,
yeah.
WNBA, have a little bit more pride in yourself. Fight a little harder.
And I'll be the one to point out that nobody is arguing. Rather, the players that play in the WNBA are working hard to perfect their craft or aren't putting in the work to be the very best player that they can be. That's not what's in question. What is in question is the league itself and the amount of money that it generates. And unfortunately, it doesn't generate the amount of money that would then turn into these equal pay between the NBA and the WNBA. You know what I mean? It's the same reason that the CEO / owner of the liquor store down the street doesn't make as much as the commissioner of the NBA, because they both the establishments that they're in ownership of don't make the same amount of money. I mean, it's just good old-fashioned capitalism. The more you make, the more you get. And so I think that has to be considered when you're bringing up this subject about things like equal pay. And there's been a lot of talk, and Brian, I know you talked about this, and Jameson, you too, about being able to put the sport out there more and get more people to watch it. But Jameson, you brought up a great point. There are more women than there are men in the United States of America. Matter of fact, the entire world. So if the want and need is there, then you should have the crowd there. You should have more women participating and watching these games. You wouldn't really need men with the amount of women that are here in this country. You wouldn't really need men to attend your games to fill those seats. And that's not to play player hater. This ain't the player haters ball, but at the same time, it's just the legitimate facts of the situation. If there are more women than there are men, then the women have to find a way to reach out to women to get women to watch games.
That's a great point. That's a great point. I mean, getting the word out there for the WNBA and all that stuff, will it really help though? Because at the end of the day, you got the NBA dunk contest and what does the WNBA have? Do they have a layup contest?
I don't know.
What's entertaining about? Do they even have it? I mean, at the end of the day, if there was a WNBA layup contest, NBA dunk contest, what are you watching at the end of the day? The physicality is not in favor of women. There's a reason why women haven't fought hard for their own NFL, right? Because
I don't want to see that.
They're not even interested in it. Yeah, I mean, women. And this is going to sound, and females in the audience don't take offense to this by all means. But if you do, I apologize in advance. But women pick and choose what they want their equality on. Look at the certain jobs, the corporate world. There's more women that are in the higher up positions. Twitch. There's more female streamers actually male streamers on average. You don't see that many women, garbage women, or female plumbers, female electricians. Just certain things they'll do. I mean, they don't. I mean, when it comes to WNBA, yeah, you're absolutely right. What's the entertainment value in that league?
Yeah, and I think it's you have to look at the numbers like any other business, and obviously those numbers are unfortunately where attendance and viewership is not really there. So I don't know what the fix is for them, but I would say though, if players from your league go overseas and make more money, then maybe it's time to think of your sport on a global level instead of just in the United States.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Maybe it's time to think about expanding your sport outside of the United States in order to get the interest and the money that you're looking for. Just like anything else, go where the money is. If the money's over in Greece or Italy or somewhere else, then instead of the WNBA needs to think about expanding, put a team in another country, do something, make those teams come here and play you. You go over there and play against them. Start meddling with these leagues however you can. The NFL's been trying to do it for years and it hasn't worked. But it's I guess all I'm saying is you have to find a way to promote your sport as opposed to simply complain about what's happening right now. And if they can, again, if the WNBA can find a competitive way to promote to women, then I think that would be the best suited situation for them. Not to promote it to men or to say that why aren't men watching our sport?
Yeah. And when you look at it, you know, the attendance for the WNBA doesn't even break 10,000. You know, your highest attendance team of this year was lo and behold the Phoenix Mercury at 5,000, roughly over 5,000 fans. Your lowest average was the LA Sparks at the Staples Center. That's where they play. They played the Staples Center. There's only 1,100 on average going to a game. So the WNBA, look at what the NBA wasn't never a global thing until they caught that one player. And then look how long it took before international players came to the NBA. You know, and now you got international players coming to go play in the NBA because that is the top talent. That is the top league. These guys don't have to leave countryside to go play, but they choose to because this is what the money's at for them. So what the WNBA look at is how it is to become a global sport, like you said. How does this become international sport for all women to come to? There's only 12 to 16 teams in the WNBA. That's half of the NBA. You know, and the NBA is looking to expand on their teams there. So if the WNBA is above the NBA, they have step to avoid players having international to go play with the people. You know, that's the realistic of it. If Brittney Griner's in this position to go overseas, make another $2 million. But yet she hires players in the WNBA. So they really need to look at it like that. What is the WNBA doing to put seats in their arena right now? They have the talent. That talent there. But what are you doing? What are you doing about that? Cindy Lope says voice is repeating. I'm really happy.
Yeah, it's funny. I can't hear it. I can't hear it on my end. But I'm not listening to the channel. So I also checked in with somebody, and they said that the echo is pretty bad.
I'm gonna take 5 minutes on my end. You guys continue the conversation, and then I'll jump right back in here.
So we give Brian some time to fix that up. Hopefully I'm not, but to kind of piggyback off about what's the NBA doing, what's the WNBA doing. There was an article that Mark Cuban responded to and said he almost thought about drafting Brittney Griner into the NBA to the Mavericks, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why didn't he? And of course, easy to say that now because this could be a political stunt in itself. He's a huge businessman, entrepreneur. So is he? Oh wait, I'm echoing too. All right, well I gotta figure out why I'm echoing. Well, I can't because I'm not the one that has the audio source. So I apologize. But Taj talk about it. Like what is the NBA doing? You got Mark Cuban who says real? Is it real? I mean, what is it?
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of feels like, especially when you're talking about it after the fact, that it's something that you weren't really ever going to do. So I Brittney Griner was a great talent coming out of college, and I'm not even going to argue with that. She's one of the premier players in the WNBA, but at her size, at 6'9", playing in the NBA, I don't see that happening, and I'm not sure why that was something that would be entertained. Most of your guys that are 6'9", there is going to be a difference in speed and athleticism. And again, that's not to be rude, but if you watch the games, if you watch the WNBA, you can see that, you're not going to see a guy, it's 6'9" guy in the WNBA is going to get to the baseline, pull up with his foot before the baseline and dunk the ball. So the athleticism that's there in the NBA is not present in the WNBA. And for that reason, I don't know if they could have brought Brittney Griner in, but then it would have been more like a thing where, she plays, for 5 minutes, they take her out, we all cheer, and then that's the end of it. I don't know if it would have been a situation where she would have been legitimately competing against men in the NBA.
All right, I think I got. All right, I think I fixed here. How does that sound, everyone?
Oh, you had to go to the iPhone for the save.
I had to switch over here. Does everyone hear me clear?
And then I actually got to check on mine too, if mine is.
No, yours. They're saying yours is fine.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. How does mine sound? Does everyone hear me good?
Dude, what's weird is that I don't hear any echo, and I'm like listening to both you guys, so I'm trying to figure out where's the break that I'm not seeing here. Let me just change the. All right. All right, folks. We apologize. We were trying to figure out some technical things real quick, but it sounds like Brian, you're up and running. If anybody in the chat can hear Brian clearly, please let us know if you have some issues. Okay, so sounds good, Brian. Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna reset my my end real quick. I'll call back in and you can accept me. Maybe I gotta reset my app.
Sorry about that all. We're trying something new for the first time here, so thank you for being patient with us.
Yeah, we did. We're doing the three-way today.
Doing the three-way today, so we're just trying to get things figured out now. So thanks for hanging in with us. I hope you guys are enjoying the conversation as we are having. We have a lot to discuss tonight, but this is just something that is that needed to be discussed here. Jameson goes to fix his audio as well here. So
all right. Well, so we'll pick up where we left off, B. So first off, we were talking about the Mavericks. We were talking about the Mavericks trying to. Okay, well, let's not say too much about ourselves now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we were trying. So we were trying to. We were talking about Brittney Griner possibly being drafted, and Mark Cuban coming out and saying that he thought about drafting Brittney Griner into the league. So, B, real talk. I just kind of gave this very intelligent answer about it, but I want to hear what you got to say. What do you think, man? Is this dude, is he serious? Was he really ever going to draft Brittney Griner?
Fuck no. Hell no. That's a publicity stunt. If I've ever heard Mark Cuban is all about making money. He's all about finding way to put people in the seats. Lord and behold, does that team. So yes, he's gonna say it there, draw attention, and it brought attention to the league because she was gonna be the first women's athlete to play in the NBA. But let's be realistic. She was not gonna last. Look how hard these guys have to look how hard they have to go through in order for this to happen. It's tough for them. So you're gonna allow Brittney Griner to come in to literally do the same thing. It was a publicity stunt from the get-go. I'm just glad he didn't do it.
Yeah. And and that's what I was saying is like I don't believe that was ever really going to happen, and I am glad that he didn't do it because what would we have had, right? We'd have had her sitting on the bench for games, and then she would have came out, played 2 minutes, then sat back down. Everyone might have cheered or something. I don't know, and then that would have been the end of it. She wouldn't have been able to have a full career like she is right now in the WNBA. It's better suited for her because it's the competition that she should be competing against because she's playing with women, and it wouldn't be a good look for the NBA as you just mentioned, Brian, because it does come across as a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
So Brian, it says like we're
hell no, better play, draft her, better get wrecked, and then just shut everybody up.
I mean, you could go that route too. That was exactly what happened. Can you imagine the game kind of having to change because with her on the board and whatnot?
I don't want to see that though. I mean, who wants to see LeBron James elbow Brittney Griner in the chest, go up and dunk on her face? That would be terrible. Wouldn't it? It would be awful. Oh man!
Brian, you said LA, WNBA Sparks, their attendance was like 1,500 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, you put her in the NBA. I would love to see what kind of increase in the visibility for the NBA would be. Not the WNBA. You put her in the NBA, see what kind of publicity that might spark up. See what kind of attendance that might spark up. See what kind of tickets that might sell. I'd be interested. because I'm tired of seeing this whole, oh, it's LeBron or if this or if that, let's just see it. Let's just shut the people up already.
Are we looking to see if LeBron posterized Brittney Griner like did Tim Duncan back in the day?
Yeah, chat. Let the chat comment on it. Chat, do we want to see Brittney Griner get dunked on by LeBron James and various other 6'9" to 6'10" guys in the league? I mean, is that something folks really want to see? So, C Lopez is telling you to turn your knob down. I don't know how to take that. But so maybe you're too loud. I don't know. I'm turning your volume down through OBS, so hopefully that helps. So if the chat, please, if you have a comment on that, drop it. I want to know what you guys think. Maybe there is a market for it.
Let me ask you guys this. There was a video that circled around in regards to this here. Would you take $10 or take free tickets to the WNBA game?
You mean like realistically? I mean, I'll go to the game. I'll go to the game. I mean, it's an experience. I mean, you're just gonna go watch people play basketball. So I mean, I'll take it just because I get to sit in seats. I get to watch it play. You know, I'm a big fan of basketball, so I'd like to see, and I'll watch a WNBA game now and again. I remember Lisa Leslie and and what was it, Cheryl Swoops and Tina Thompson, and there's a lot of good players. That now I'm talking about when the WNBA first came out, where there was a lot more hype around. There's a lot more hype around it. But there's some interesting games and interesting great players that play for the team. So again, I don't want to take away from their talent. It's just talent within their own sport. So I'll sign up to watch it. It's a free game. What do I got to lose? I'm just gonna watch and play basketball anyway. But sounds like Jameson might want to go take that $10 and buy a drink.
Rage. Yes, I agree.
Absolutely. Yep.
But that's not me though. We're comparing them to the NBA players that are
yeah.
They're not going to keep it at that level.
Yeah.
It's not saying that they can. It's just you're looking at it from the talent aspect here. You mean to tell me you got to there's a guard in the WNBA who's going to stick with Steph Curry one-on-one. And that's all.
Yeah.
It's not a negative thing, but we're just looking at it like that would have been a really bad publicity done on the NBA to do that. It would have drawn people, but just imagine the backlash it would have been had she gotten access to her in there. That's why they made that.
Yeah, and again, like I said this earlier, nobody's trying to take away from the craft and how hard and how much people are playing and all that. But you just have to understand, like, we're talking about the best of the best, okay? And that's what we're talking about. Obviously, there's a bunch of WNBAs who can beat me in basketball right now. I would never argue that. But what I am saying is that when we're talking about the best of the best in the entire world at the same sport, the NBA is going to produce a product and a type of player that will be, better than what we see from Brittney Griner. There are some 6'9" dudes in the NBA that are sitting on benches that have more athleticism and can do more than Brittney Griner can. And so it's just a difference in it's just a different. LeBron's Griner would break his. First off, wait, stop, hold on, B, stop, no, stop. I'm about to kill this right now. If you've watched Brittney Griner's play, you'll know that she doesn't break ankles because she doesn't handle the ball. She's a center in the WNBA. She only plays in the post. She can knock down a jumper now and again from the free throw line, but most of her game is built on post play. See, don't check me because I actually watched the game. Watch out now. So she ain't crossing nobody. She ain't crossing nobody up because that's not her game. She's not a guard. She's a center. So no, she ain't crossing Bron. She don't even cross the women in her own league. So we got to make sure we watch the games, y'all. We got to make sure if you're going to talk, we got to watch the WNBA. Y'all proving Jameson point. Rachel, come on now. to help you out, Rachel. I'm trying to help you. I thought this.
She would whoop my butt at basketball. She would, but I would whoop her ass.
Oh my god.
That's another subject. I'm not even going to break up that argument. We can talk about that
Maybe in about 10-14
years,
Griner gets out of prison in Russia. She comes back to the United States eventually. That we can set up an exhibition match. She can make up some money from her time being on the WNBA and the Call of Duty tournament.
Hold on, but in contrary to that, though, I would love to watch her posterize you.
Yeah. I think so. I think.
I paid more money to watch that because I've always seen you play Call of Duty.
Oh man.
That's a fact.
I got 10 to 14 years to get in shape for it. Hey.
Oh, wow. That was. Man, that was harsh. Well, folks, I ain't gonna take it that far, but I will agree. I will agree.
Dude plans his, hold on.
Wait.
Rachel goes, I don't watch the WNBA, I just know for a fact LeBron's soft as fuck. Dude plans his own funeral when he gets back.
Oh my goodness. Y'all need to stop with this, man. Y'all playing, I mean, come on now. Try LeBron. What's this all about? LeBron now, now LeBron. I mean, come on now. There are some players out there that don't even see the court because they soft. Ain't nobody talk. Let me put it this way: the softest player is somebody you've never heard of because they're not good enough to play the game. Boom, we done. Because Paul George is much softer than LeBron ever was. I don't see nobody calling on Paul George. Paul George soft. He been soft. Who? Paul George. See, look at that. See what I'm saying? The softest players in the league don't play. There you go. That's all you need to know. Yeah, name one soft champion. You're gonna say LeBron. Well, then that's just you being mad at LeBron then, because there's a lot of other people that have won champion. I know how y'all is, man. Warrior fan, y'all tripping. And I'm not even a big LeBron fan. I'm just a Laker fan, man. And I know nobody would ever throw dirt on Kobe name because you can hate him. Oh. All right, let's adjust. Gentlemen, start speaking.
Hello.
Bam. Can they hear you now?
Testing.
Look how we're just doing this on the fly, guys.
Oh, man, we having a great time screwing stuff up.
Hell yeah. we man. That's what we do.
That's right. Screw it up. Muddle through it. After. That's right. Muddle through it. No matter what, get it done.
I can hear the echo somewhere.
I can hear it too now.
No, that was just me monitoring it. I think it has to be on your OBS side. You might have to check your sources.
My sources are.
You might have our audio.
Yeah, my sources are direct from Skype. So I have one source for you guys. It's both the video and audio source. So it's NDI for both you guys. Just
yeah. You might have to mute your video source. Your video source has an audio as well.
Yeah, my video capture. Let me make sure. Yeah, I've only got one audio source for the audio input. And that's just I've got a Yeti microphone, so I don't.
It might be like from like or something. But we are starting to reach that 1 hour marker, and we could go all day about it. We might have to start working toward a close of the Griner talk. So you guys move on to your regularly scheduled program.
And Jameson, we thank you for being a part of the program here. But yeah, let's go ahead and close this one out here. The matter of the fact is she's in a position that she put herself in. The WNBA needs to get everything fixed as far as their programming goes to not have players going to other countries to have to make that $1 million figure.
Well, we were debating whether or not I'm going to bring this up. And I'm going to bring it up because we're heading to a close. This might spark some drama and chat. If you like what you heard tonight, we could try to recontinue it in a week or so. But recent news is that the U.S. government is contemplating a trade That does happen on the prisoner level for Brittney Griner to be brought back. And part of that trade is releasing a guy named Victor Bout. Now, if you don't know who Victor Bout is, I highly encourage you to Google who Victor Bout is. And you might be very alarmed to see what his nickname is. His nickname is the Merchant of Death. He is a Russian smuggler of arms. Think about that. He has supplied Taliban, Al-Qaeda. He's worked with Gaddafi, other terrorist organizations, and is responsible for countless lives, American lives, and soldier lives being gone. And this is who we're trading for Griner. Also a Marine that's there on espionage charges, but we ridiculous to bring him up because that's not the point. I think he's being thrown in the sweet pot. But I don't know. I'm just saying I don't think one. I don't think she's worth starting World War III. Two, I don't think she's worth releasing someone of Victor Bout's prowess back into the world. And it'd be very interesting to see how this pans out. So, Taj B, thank you so much for having me on tonight. I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time. You got much more content to go over, but I hope you guys have a great weekend or what's left of it, and hope to see you guys again soon.
We appreciate it, Jay. Thanks for tuning in, man. Thanks for jumping on with us tonight.
For sure.
Peace out, everybody.
Later. All right. Now we are back. So now we can move on to some other topics. Hopefully the audio's fixed. Let us know if there's still an echo on my end here. There shouldn't be through this headset here. But let us know. Timmy says definitely not worth it. We will let that be to everyone's determination in regards to that there. But let's move on to the NFLs. We had some breaking news take place today, T. Deebo Samuel finally getting paid what he deserves. Contract extension, 3 years, $77 million. $58.1 million guaranteed. T, go ahead and give me your input on what this means going forward for the 49ers here.
Well, I think it means that they have an offensive weapon that they can keep now. I mean, they needed to make sure that they were able to keep Deebo Samuel because he constituted for a lot of their offense. He was a guy that was a multi-purpose back, whether it be he was playing wide receiver mostly, obviously, but also caught balls coming out the backfield, involved in a lot of screen plays. So yeah, I mean, it was very important that and especially given the fact that you're going to now couple that with a brand new quarterback. I think it's extremely, extremely important that they have that they have their best offensive weapon on board. Because throwing Trey Lance out there without anybody to help steer the offense, without throwing the ball to, or it just was not going to work out at all. So
yeah,
I don't know what the Niners were thinking, taking this long, getting it done. But I'm glad they got it done because their season would have been craptastic if they decided to trade the guy. They wouldn't have got what they wanted for him anyway. And I still honestly think that it's going to be the Trey Lance experiment. So even though they're bringing Deebo back, it's just going to be a pain in the butt. They're really going to have to create an offense around Trey to make sure that it's working the way that it should.
Well, and on top of that too, now you really can't put him in the backfield. There's too much money invested in him for him to be taking snaps as a running back here. $58.1 million guaranteed is a lot of money for an athlete who, if he starts being used as a running back, calls it quits.
Right.
He's got this contract will take him into his absolute prime. He is reaching that prime, and this contract will take him into it at the age of 29 when this contract's over. Do you really want to take that risk on burning this man out to accomplish something that he's not even supposed to be playing this position? Why do you have running backs on this team and you have to use him? If the Niners needed a running back so bad, go get yourself a running back then. So he doesn't have to do that. It's taking time off his career. This is a smart move, I think, on the Niners stand for 3 years. Hey, give us what you got here. But you can't put him in the backfield. Because if he spends more time in that backfield, all he's got to do is walk away from the game, and that's $58.1 million in his pocket. The Niners are lucky this didn't cost them a whole lot, because this past week as well, DK Metcalf got $72 million, but only $30 million was guaranteed.
Right, and that's
so the Niners
typical of NFL contracts where they're not really getting paid. You know, you got to earn the salaries. There's a lot more guaranteed money than there was previously. But if you're a wide receiver or a running back, then it's for sure going to, you're going to have to meet certain parameters in order to get the full contract. And so.
100%. But good on the Niners for doing this, though. This is an absolute great move for them, because this gives Trey Lance that weapon. Now they just need to make sure they use the weapon here. But let me touch on something in regards to football, Taj Mahal. It's training camp, right? So everyone, obviously, around here, the big talk is the 49ers talking about Trey Lance. How is he going to do now that the team is his, right? This is the one thing I cannot stand, though. I am tired of reporters saying that he looks good throwing the ball. Anyone will look good throwing the ball in practice. Right. He's got no pads on. He's not being rushed. He's not being tackled. If he cannot throw a spiral, which it sounds like he's struggling to in training camp, why is this a discussion, man? Why does the media do this to fans? Where they say, Trey Lance threw a 60-yard pass and hit Ayuk right in the numbers. Dude, if he doesn't hit him right in the numbers as he's throwing that ball with no pads on, he shouldn't be a quarterback.
Well, it's partly because you're trying to create some excitement. Everybody knows that you're moving on from the Garoppolo experiment. So this is really just a way for the folks that are writing those articles to get more eyes. And you're going to, at the beginning of a season or in the off season, there's nothing but optimism because nobody's seen you play yet. Right? That's true of any sport.
Yeah.
So this is just that opportunity to really throw a lot of sauce on everything. And now all of a sudden we're, Trey Lance is the best thing since sliced toast, and he can complete passes. And, it's of course he can complete passes. Like you said, he's playing they're not in pads. They're literally like kids playing during recess. It's just them. And they're just throwing the ball from point A to point B. If he can't do that, he shouldn't be an NFL quarterback. So
100%.
I think this is just a hype train because it's the off season and you want to try to build some excitement. And that's all we're looking at. We're just looking at the Niners trying to build some excitement. And we talked about this. It's the ghost of Joe Montana, right? Like every quarterback that comes along gets hyped out of their mind. And then when they actually play, the moment that they're not, even if they're good, the moment that they're not as good, they get ran out of town. And, we've seen that with Jeff Garcia. We've seen that with Alex Smith. We saw it with Garoppolo. We even saw it that one year where you guys had that backup come in and have a great game. I forgot the guy's name.
What you mean, you guys?
My bad, not you guys. 49ers I forgot the backup guy. Anyway, he won a couple of games and all of a sudden he was going to be the starter. Never materialized though. So it's just it's the hype.
Colin
Kaepernick again. The hype train, But the truth is no matter how good those guys are, they're never going to live up to Joe Montana. And for that, it doesn't matter, dude. Like it's like, yeah, they'll hype him up, but like I said, I really think this is gonna be an up and down season for Trey, man. It's gonna be up and down.
But hey, he's throwing great practice. He's throwing great practice balls right now. So fucking give him the MVP now. In other NFL news, the rich get richer. This is a little odd, but Julio Jones going to the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Okay, I mean, it's a little late in the game, but Tom Brady obviously needs somebody to throw the ball to. I don't know if Julio Jones is the same player as he used to be, but you never know with Tom throwing him the ball. I really think this is a Hail Mary shot, man. This is that's the Bucs trying to give Tom Brady one more chance to play in the Super Bowl, which none of us want to see at this point. I'm just being honest. So let's hope that Tom Brady tears his ACL on game one and we can just be done with the entire Just be done with the whole experiment overall. Sorry, bitter Raider fan. My bad. But still,
damn, tell me about it. Shit.
Like, I'm tired of this. The guy's been playing for 20-some years. I got to give him credit. He did win a Super Bowl. I can't take that away from him. But for him to retire and then go, you know what? I was just joking. I'm going to play again. It's like, dude, just leave. If you're considering retirement, like, don't be Ben Roethlisberger. Don't keep coming back year after year after year. Just leave. Just go ahead and retire. We all know that you're getting long in the tooth, and if you in your heart of hearts, if you even have an inkling that you don't want to play the game anymore, then go ahead and step away. Just leave.
I honestly think this is a good move for Julio Jones because he's now not the number one target on a team. It's Mike Evans is the number one target for them. So this, I think, will take a little pressure off. Julio Jones hasn't been the same over the last 3 years. His final years in Atlanta and then the 1 year in Tennessee, that was an absolute disaster. And now all Tennessee's got is a running game. I mean, they should probably maybe take a look at their quarterback and Ryan Tannehill, who's maybe not all the greatest quarterback either here. But, I mean, and realistically, he wasn't being used as he was in his prime, I should say, with that. But they never surrounded him. Calvin Ridley was next to him in Atlanta, but it's not like he was putting up high numbers here. You got Mike Evans over there on the other side of the field who could get numbers and is a legitimate deep threat. And so now defenses are going to have to figure out who do we turn our attention to. And I think Julio Jones is okay with that, but I think he should blossom in this offense here with Tom Brady. He's got a legitimate quarterback, and that's not taking anything away from Matt Ryan. That's taking everything away from Ryan Tannehill because he was absolute trash. This is a good look for him. So I accommodate him for doing that, but that Tampa Bay may have just caught him 3 years too late. That's just my opinion.
Tennessee Derrick Henrys, yeah, exactly.
Oh my God! I mean, why would you get away from the run, dude? I'm not standing in front of Derrick Henry at all. Even if I was in shape, built like a brick house, I'm still not getting in front of Derrick Henry.
You could throw the ball like 10 times, okay, and that's it. All right.
Yeah.
Make a play.
You talk about a quarterback. All he has to do is just throw a 5-yard route. That's Ryan Tannehill. Yeah. Because all they're going to do is just run the ball.
Yeah, man. So in other NFL talks, just quickly on the Raiders, just one quick point. Darren Waller still has not been paid. However, there is reports that they are starting the negotiation process, and he isn't missing any camp. So the hope is that they have him signed by the time it's time to put pads on for real and play in this upcoming, what is this thing called? The first preseason game.
The Hall of Fame game.
Thank you.
The Hall of Fame game.
First preseason game of the year. So we'll see how that goes.
Normally they put two teams who have Hall of Famers in the game, and for some reason the Jaguars are playing in this, but they don't have any Hall of Famers. Last time I checked.
You know what? I got to go back and look, man. There might be some guys that are Hall of Famers that were from other teams that played for the Jaguars. I'd have to go and look.
That doesn't count. They're not going in as Jaguars. They're not going in as Jags.
Yeah, well, you got that right. So moving on to the other basketball league, the NBA, of all places.
Yes, sir.
Stirring up views without dribbling a basketball. So Durant to the Celtics is the most recent rumor. And to be honest, the Celtics are the one team I think that actually has assets that are worth the Nets sitting down and thinking it over. I guess what I want to ask, B, is let's say they pull this thing off. The proposed trade would be something in the neighborhood of, Brown, maybe Smart, draft compensation, and possibly Grant Williams. Do you think that's enough to make the Nets make the trade? One, and then two, how good will a Durant Celtics team be?
I think if Marcus Smart is a part of that trade, yes, you take it. Yeah. That's the defensive player of the year. And you take it.
Jaylen Brown is the real. Yeah.
Jaylen Brown's the real deal. That's a legitimate scorer there in my eyes. There, I think during the finals he was the best player, and it wasn't Tatum.
No, it wasn't.
I think it was Brown I think Brown was their best player in those finals there. So, and then Grant Williams is an up and coming defender as well, and that's bully ball right there. What you get with Grant Williams, If they can package those three with a couple of draft picks, this thing happens. And then the Celtics become a monster of a team to try to handle in the East. There's no one hanging with them. And this is why I say that I think that with Durant on the Celtics elevates Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
There's no focus on Tatum this time. It goes back to Durant. Now Durant's the guy. Tatum can kind of get his game developed, get his game polished. Can you imagine having to guard those two who can get a bucket at any point on the floor? That's the only thing holding Tatum back is he hasn't learned how to master that 18-foot jump shot and get to a spot on the floor and get that bucket every time. There's no consistency in it.
And I think and you have to think about Durant obviously is a player. Everybody has to remember that the reason Durant is so highly sought after, but then also considered one of the greatest scorers in the game, is because he can score at all three levels, and he can do it with relative ease. So he's a guy that you could just throw the ball to, and he's going to get you 2 points. Even though he's a perimeter player, he shoots a higher field goal percentage than most players in the entire league. So he would create much more space for Tatum, like you said. They traded for Malcolm Brogdon, who can play their point guard, and who also is a pretty sturdy defensive player. You still got Forehead, all coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? Kobe White. You still got
package Forehead.
You still got the Time Lord Williams. With the dreads. So you got some defensive guys.
That's a bad.
You got some guys
too.
And he was injured the entire plaplayoffs. But so you got guys that can get out there and make plays. So they will be a dangerous team if they're going to be as good defensively as they were this last year, and maybe they're not as good defensively as they were last year. But if they can muster at least 80% of that with the offense that they will be adding with Durant, I don't see another team in the East that can compete with that. I think it's going to be them in Milwaukee in the finals and in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then on to the finals with whoever the hell they're in playing from the West.
Yeah, that's the Celtics weren't even a team of discussion when it came to this until you really look at the parameters on what they have to offer. Outside of the Warriors, the Celtics have that best package because they can afford to lose a player like that and regain that. Speaking of the Celtics here, there some tragic news today. The great Bill Russell, 13-time NBA champion, Boston Celtic legend, has passed away today. T, as a Laker fan, where does he rank all time?
Where does Bill Russell? So Bill Russell is kind of like Kareem, where they're kind of extraordinary people. It has. We can talk about basketball, but Bill Russell's real contribution to the game was a lot of his social work and a lot of what he did to help progress racial equality within sports. The fact that he was a player coach and won a championship, which I don't even think that's ever been done ever, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
And, he's always been considered the elder statesman of the NBA due to a lot of those pushes, a lot of things that he's done outside of just what he's done on the basketball court. And obviously he played in a time and in a city that wasn't as open to, African-American people back in the in the 50s and 60s, and overcame a lot as I said, even being the player coach of a team, which again was unheard of. So, I think you really have to tip your cap to Bill Russell, who lived a very full life, who played against, Wilt Chamberlain time and time again, and did a pretty damn good job. He's got more championships than any player ever. And
yep.
He's one of those guys that has always just been the true, again, like I say, elder statesman, but really a true icon in the sports world. And I think is a great representation of the league. If you could point out one per person to represent the WNBA as a whole, or excuse WNBA, sorry, the NBA as a whole. Sorry, I try to throw you a bone there. Bill Russell is definitely the guy that you can point to and say that man is wholly responsible for helping build the league from its infancy and helping push the league to the place that it is today. Obviously, the league is 80% African American now, and also it's been as successful as it's ever been. So yeah. Again, tip your hat. R.I.P. Bill Russell. Again, great player, great person, humanitarian, social activist, someone who deserves to be on the NBA logo instead of Jerry West.
And that's coming from a Laker fan, y'all. Let that be known.
Exactly, because Jerry West was a Laker. But I'm sorry, Jerry West is not iconic. I'm sorry, he's a great player, always was, but he only won one championship. He was one of the great players at his position during his time, but he could not beat that Celtics team. So,
well, I mean,
nobody could.
Nobody was beating that Celtics team. Nobody was beating the Celtics team during that time. But yeah, I agree with you 100% on everything that you say about Bill Russell. The MVP award named after him. And there was one thing that every player looked forward to, and that was shaking the hand of Bill Russell and what he meant to players, the young generation in the NBA. I almost said it myself. That's what players had to look forward to was meeting him. The legends of the game keep this game going for as great as it is. And Bill Russell is that guy for the NBA. There's nothing like a young guy being able to talk to someone who is an icon of the game. Getting to pick his brain, just hearing his stories of how he's seen how the NBA's transitioned from when he was playing until now. He has seen it all. That's someone you want to talk to understand the game a little more. So, the NBA lost a very iconic figure. It'd be interesting to see if they change the logo to Bill Russell. I think it'd be something different, but you rarely see a sports logo get changed unless it's the XFL.
XFL. Yeah, I remember that. That was terrible.
Oh my God! I'm surprised he didn't throw up on the mic. He hate me. Greatest uniform ever.
Oh, right. Oh, and so another topic. There's been some talk about this is surrounding the Warriors about Draymond and Draymond's extension, and will he get one? So you're a Warriors fan. I got to start with you before I start talking. Will Draymond get an extension from the Warriors or a max extension or whatever he's looking for? No, he's not getting. Okay.
No, Draymond, you wishful thinking bastard. You ain't getting a max extension. Shut that shit down, man. Let me put it like this. You have two players in their early 20s, and you've got a player probably pushing past his prime. He can still get it done, but he's not getting it done at a high efficient level here. But you got two players that could do it. Who are you giving that extension to?
Yeah, I ain't giving it to him.
Dennis Rodman wasn't asking for no max extension. Come on.
I mean,
now I'm not saying him and Draymond are comparable because Draymond does more than I think Dennis Rodman does. Yeah. But at the end of the day, him and Rodman are averaging the same amount of points. Let's just be honest with you. Why are you asking? You're not getting that extension. There's no way.
There are very few owners in the league that are going to hand out a max extension to a player who's averaging less than 10 points a game.
Six at that.
Yeah. And I know what folks are saying, he contributes so much more to the game, and you're absolutely right. But here's the issue. When you talk about when guys go to negotiate contracts, they talk about the market and demand from the market at that time. And the demand for the market of a Draymond Green, unfortunately, is not as high as you think. Draymond Green is great for the Warriors, but Draymond Green on others' teams, he'd be all right. You know what I mean? He would offer the same grit and the same tenacity, but grit and tenacity is not $100 million. There are very few teams out there paying Montrezl Harrell ain't getting $100 million contract. You know what I mean? And grit and all that's not enough to get a max contract. So I think Draymond isn't going anywhere because his value to the Warriors far exceeds his value to any other team. And he's not going to get a better contract than whatever the Warriors decide to offer him, if they do, from anyone else. So I think he's going to stay there. But I do agree with you. I don't think Joe Lacob's going to bust out the checkbook and go, yeah, let me go ahead and give you 100. No, Joe Lacob is thinking, so can I still get Durant?
Let's be honest here. Draymond being on the Warriors is by far the best thing for him. It is. Yeah. But let's say you go to the Pistons, you go back home to Detroit, right? And you're over here pushing the tempo, and you've got a wide open 3-point shooter, and he facilitates like he normally does. Those shots that are going in at Golden State are not going in Detroit. And you're going to be 10 times frustrated with that there. Coming to the Warriors, it's a very high intelligent basketball organization over there for what they do. And that's no knock saying that other organizations are stupid.
Yeah.
But you're not getting that kind of that mental game like you do at Golden State. That's all I'm saying there. Is Draymond, you're not going to get that anywhere else. By all means, take a page out of Iguodala. He came back and he's more of a mentor for the younger generation, for Wiggins, for Moody, for Kuminga. Those are the guys you need to start building for this organization to build more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't try to rescue another organization in your mid-30s. At your caliber, that shit ain't gonna fly.
Right. Yeah.
So no, Draymond, you ain't getting another 3 years, $200 million. You are not putting up Curry numbers. If they offered that to Curry, by all means, yes, that is a very good max extension. But to give that to a guy who's 6 points, 20 flagrant fouls,
more fouls than points. Yes, I understand.
More fouls than points. He's the opposite of a double-double sometimes. No, you're not getting $170 million for 3 years. Come on, man. Jesus Christ. The minute he said that, I almost threw up in the truck, man. I was like, dude, what are you thinking, man?
Yeah, and we, like you said, wishful thinking, but I think it's time to put that wish to bed. It ain't happening. So,
no.
It ain't happening. Yeah, so I think I'm trying to think if we have anything else you want to throw out there, B.
Shit, I talk about baseball, but I got nothing to say about that right now. My team sucks. Yo, but here's the best part. They be kicking bats at each other and shit like that.
Kicking bat? What?
Yeah, man. They're kicking. So, the Giants pitcher, Carlos Rodon, was all upset. And I'm not going to get into it, but he's got some reasons to be upset, some reasons not. But he took a bat and he kicked it and hit his teammate in the shins.
Man, y'all
put his teammate on the ground.
Y'all bad news bear status right now.
100%, dude. And then the previous inning, he threw his glove and almost hit another coach. It was like temper tantrum again, man. But I mean, I dude, as a Giants fan, and just watching them play and just like, yo, y'all, they're only like as bad as they're playing. They're only 4.5 games out of a playoff spot, and they don't want to do anything to make that extra effort. It's like, I'm not coming out here to watch geriatric night every night at the ballpark, but yo, give me something to go out there and watch. That's what I want to see. But hopefully they turn this shit around, man. I'm hoping, I'm praying. They just got swept by the Dodgers. It damn near threw up all over the place. We play them again on Monday, so I'll be a little fired up for that. Yeah, I really don't have much. Oh, right here. Cerner Strong, I know he's resting. A friend of mine is battling cancer. It's pretty aggressive. So, Greg Cerna, if you get a chance to watch this, praying for you, man. Hope you get through this. I hope to see you soon. We got a chance to spend a little time together today at the hospital. And, I'm glad we were able to connect. It's been a while, and I hope you get through this strongly, man. And we're all here supporting you as you get through this. So, stay strong, Cerna.
God bless.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that does it for us. First off, we just want to apologize, and we appreciate you sticking with us through some of our technical difficulties. But we will be back again next Sunday trying again because that's what we do. We're the little engine that could hit a little bit of a hiccup today. Going up the side of the ramp, sweating and shit, trying to make it. We're going to come back next week and try again, as we always do. So next Sunday at 6:30, be prepared to talk with us again. And we look forward
to we got football.
We're going to break down the Hall of Fame game. We're going to talk about backups. And most importantly, I'm going to be talking about Devontae Adams and Derek Carr, and you
just gleeing over ready. There. Look at you just gleeing over there.
Then we get to talk about Trey Lance. Oh, no, not Trey Lance. I'm sorry. He hasn't played for the Jaguars.
Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence with his long, flowy hair. Did he cut his hair yet? He still has long hair.
That boy ain't cutting his hair, man.
It's a trademark.
You know who he reminds me of is you ever see the movie Remember the Titans?
Yeah, but it's been a long time, man.
So do you remember how they get the quarterback who comes from California?
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
If the chat is live right now, please remind me. Sunshine. I think that was his name. He reminds me of Trevor Lawrence for some reason. The flowy hair,
takes the helmet off,
laid
his
back,
hair starts fluttering in the wind,
looking like Fabio and shit like that.
I hope Crosby smacks the crap out of him.
Boy, he ain't gonna be playing nothing but a series in order for that to happen.
Yeah. Jaguars, what a joke. I remember when they were good.
When was that?
It wasn't that long ago. Back when they had was that? No, that was the Panthers. Panthers were good. I'm sorry. Never mind. Jaguars haven't really been good.
Yeah, wrong
expansion team.
Cat there, sir.
Hey, well, yeah. Hey, man, it's not my fault. The NFL made 2 expansion teams within 5 years' time, and they both were cats. It's not my problem. Oh man!
All right, y'all. Well, we're happy. Football is back. We're looking forward to it. Even though it's his exhibition, football.
All right. Well, let's be coughs his way away. Y'all have a great night. And
Later,
we'll see y'all next time.